Hi, welcome back. I want to I want to cover taping again. Now, I did this in the past, and it's been a while. Um, Actually, it's been a few years, I think. So I completely lost my knowledge, but of this process. But what we're actually doing is creating a file and saving it to tape. Well, we're still inside of another program. So what I mean here is I have to develop this for the last part of my video game. So uh, I was using a password system, and I don't, but it's only for testing. It's not for the final product. It's just for like manipulating the program and excuse me, it's for making save, to continue the game where you left off. But right now I'm using a password system, and it's too you know somebody could manipulate it very easily, and so I want to do something in the background. So I'm going to attempt that, and I hope you'll stick around. Um, I like to take my audience along with me. I could have done this independently, but haven't made a video in a while, and so I want to get going with this. And I don't have an idea of what I want to do, but we have to figure out how to get there. So in the book, under Getting Down to Business, I think it's chapter 25. It's covered in taping. Excuse me. So first thing we have to do is establish communication with the tape deck. And so I type open, and I don't know why they did it this way, but you have to put all. O is for output, and then when you want to retrieve the data, you use I for input. So we're exporting data right now, and then we import it later. And I guess if I can find the pound key on my keyboard, it's all over the place. I have a compromised keyboard because I have an old version of Stella, which doesn't include the Color Computer 3, it just includes the Dragon and the Coco 1 and 2, some other computers I've never heard of. But anyways, so right now we're opening output communication with the printer. The printer's location is pound -1. There's other locations for different devices. I'm sorry, this is the tape deck location, pound -1. They have other locations for different things. I'm not too sure, but what another example would be, I don't know. I'm sure people will fill me in on this. But if you want to establish communication with a device, it's pounds dash something. So the tape deck is -1. So what you would have is in the past, the tape deck would actually turn on and turn on and off with the open and close command. So I'm going to call this passwords or something related to my game. Just going to call it saved. I'll just make it simple. Save game, something like that. So we have to call our file something. I'm calling mine save game. And then the next step apparently is to input string. And the way they have it set up is we're doing book titles, but I'm not doing book titles. They're doing strings. I'm not doing strings. I'm doing variables. So I have to figure out a way to incorporate this so it's autonomous, and it does it in the background. If I hit, Q for quit, it'll ask me if I want to save my game. I'll put yes, and it'll go through this process, save my game, so I can start at the screen that I left off on. And I'm going to do this for the whole game at first. Tales of Suburbia, I was going to have a save feature on stage 1, but I changed my mind because I think by the time this gets done, it'll be a lot easier to do, and you keep the items that you already found. So I'm going to have something like this for A equals 1 to 9. There's 9 items in the game. Actually, there's more, but we're just going to pretend there's 9, and there's also screens. So I'm going to have to do this multiple times, but we're going to say for A equals 1 to 9, and something like data. I'll just shorten that. I'm just going to put like $5 model rocket. This isn't completely correct, but a dime. I'm trying to do stage 1 stuff. There's a dime, a model rocket, not in that particular order, but I'm just trying to do a rough sketch here. So we're going to have A equals 1 to 3. List this out. Alright. So we're going to open communication. Yes, we want to save the game. We're going to go to here. It's going to be a subroutine. Then we're going to read. This is going to be tricky. Now, when I did it in passwords, I used variables. I'm gonna say read item A. Wait a second here. Read item. Item is the variable. The word item. Read item subscripted by A. That's it. And then next A. And this will plug all these items into items subscripted by A. But now we have to output these items. So how do we do that? So I'm looking at the book here in virtual format. I really wish I had a book. It'd be a lot easier, but I don't. So what we need to do next is actually we need to print to the tape. And that means we're going to create our file, and we have to do it one by one. So we have to print to the cassette, and we have to follow it by this here. So the best thing to do is, before we call next, we're going to print, and we're going to print to £-1 item A, and then we'll call our next A. So we're gonna, we're going to, 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 we We're going to establish communication. We're going to read items in order. Then we're going to print that item to tape until we're through these 3 items here. And then once that is done, we need to close communication with the printer, the tape, sorry. So simply put, close, 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 just close, pound, -1. Alright, so this isn't going to change anything about the game. It's embedded as a subroutine, and we could have anything running. So I don't know why it was done this way. I don't know. But that's how it's done. And so we will have all of our items saved. And then we'll have the opposite of this at the beginning of the game when we want to continue our game. So, thing is here, we do need to say, the other thing is here, and because it's an emulator, there's another step involved. So, before we do any of this, we're going to renumber this, and we have to say press record. Okay? Press record. And then, normally that would be it, but we're using an emulator, so when we're prompted with this, we need to go to our file on XROR, and we need to create as if we were saving something to cassette. So we need to use the file output command, and if I look at it right now, you go to cassette and you put output tape, and then we're going to have to name our file, and then once that is done, we can continue with the program. And I believe once it runs, it will automatically save it. I'm just guessing here. So I'm going to put $$ equals in keys. It's not really an S, it's a $, in keys. And that just means that the keyboard is active and it's looking for activity on the keyboard. So we're going to put if $$ equals space, then 4 or then 12, else 3. That'll keep it in a loop. So it should say press record, then press space. Okay? Edit to alright. Now, actually I have to have my drink here. Let's see, talking requires that you have a drink with you, you know, so. Anyways, so we're going to do this, and so whatever, the only difference here is, here I'm doing it as data line. These would already have values, and I'm going to have to find a way to. The hard part is going to be uh, like, for instance, $5 bill would equal 0 if we didn't have it, and 1 if we did have it. So this is all my computer knows in the program. I don't know how to incorporate this to this. What I'm going to have to do is say something. It'll have to run through this without the data, and I don't know. It would have to run through now all of my $5 bill would have to equal item A, like that. So what if $5 bill either equals 0 or 1? If we have it, it equals 1. If we don't, it equals 0. So whatever the value of this is would be translated to this. And then we'd have a for next, and it would check all of the items and see what their values are. And it would work that way and then we'd have to go through the screens, so on. So I'd have something like screen equals screen. Yeah, I can't spell right now. SCREEN, screen, same thing. And that would figure out what screen you're on. That would be saved and loaded. So let's try this. I'm going to run this. Press record, then press space. So virtually, I'm hitting record. I'm not hitting record. I'm creating an output tape, and it's not loading. This program is funny. It doesn't try it a bunch of times before it works sometimes. So I'm going to call this save game. That's all I'm calling it. And same thing here. Now I hit space. Syntax error in 14. I wasn't expecting that. What the hell is wrong with 14? Data, $5, model rocket, dime. I don't see a syntax error here at all. I've had this happen before, and I don't know why it's doing this. Data, where is there a syntax error here? $5, model rocket, dime. So I don't see a syntax error there. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh yeah. I'm trying to read variables, and it's string. So we're going to change our data to 1, 2, 3. I know I had this happen before. So if you're trying to read, you make sure you're reading the right data. That's why there was a syntax error, and I'm glad that happened, because it's a lesson that you need to remember here, that I need to really remember, because it's frustrating. So nothing was saved, so I'm going to put save game. Save. Yes, I'm going to replace it. I thought it wasn't even on here, but I'm going to replace it. Now I hit the space, and OK. So we still have our program. It's just a subroutine, but now save game has it's a file called save game with these bits of data in there. So how do we retrieve this? Well, we're going to have to put another line in here called load. Save and load. It shouldn't say taping. One should say, let me kill that. Save, load. Okay. So, we're going to say the opposite of this. We're going to say press play, then press space 21 $, same thing, equals in keys, not in quotation marks. Okay, if $, equals space, then 22 else, yeah, else, ELSE, not ESL. I used to spell ESL all the time, and I was getting errors and all kinds of things happening, and gotta watch out for that. ELSE. So 22. What do we do here? We need to open I this time. Same location, and we're gonna call it. It's actually. Let me look at the book here. It's let's see here. We need to open I, and we need to know what our file is called. So it's save game. Save game is the name of the file. Okay. Same thing as up here, but we're using an I. It's kind of hard to understand, but you have to use O and I. And then it's going to input, but the thing is here, the way it's designed, you don't use a loop, a for next loop. It will keep inputting this data, but we're gonna it's, for instance, the next line is actually before that we have to let's just do this right now. We're gonna input, okay, from tape. Okay, location is already open. We're going to input from that location, and what we're going to input is, thing is here, we want to input item A like this. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work. Let me try something here. I think we're going to need a for next loop for A, because how else am I going to subscript this? For A equals, it tells you to use EOF, check for end of file, but we might be able to get around that. This is just an experiment here. So we're going to input from tape item A. Then we're going to go next A. Or we need to it will be saved because it's subscripted. So let's just go next A. And that will stop the inputting. And I don't think we need the end of file, because I'm telling it when to stop. Then we have to close. And by tomorrow, I'm going to forget all this, and I'm going to have to look at, learn it all over again. But, whatever. So then, once this is done, thing is here, if I print item A right now, it comes up empty. So it's already been taken out of memory. It has. It's been taken out of memory. Because if it wasn't, it would come up with 1. Because it had 1, 2, 3. Item. If I try item 2, nothing. So it's out of the cache or wherever it keeps it. And once you're done running the program, it stays in cache for a little while, but as soon as you do certain things, it erases it. And you have to run the program over again. So let's do this. We know that these items are on the file. So I'm just gonna run from 19. Let's run 19. Okay, it says press play then space. So with an emulator, that means go to your cassette input tape function, find the file, open it, and then hit space. And that quickly, it has inputted data. So if I put print item 1, print item 2, print item 3, so it works, okay? And you can, it's adding, this is good. This is multi-layering here. So we're still in we're shelling out. We're like, it's a shell now. So it's adding to the existing program. It's adding data to our existing program, and this is exactly what I want to do. And this is how I'm going to make my save game tape. And so all you have to do is quit and save, and you're done. You don't have to worry about entering passwords when you want to start the game. The other thing is I have several tapes, and you're gonna have to remember which stage you're in, because if you're in stage 2, you save the game and then you put in tape for stage 1. I'm gonna have to find a way to um, get around that, but that's another story. But for right now, just if you were on stage 3, make sure you put in stage 3 tape when you want to. You have to note what stage you left off on. But everything else will be taken care of. The screen, the items, and everything this way. So the next step is for me to incorporate this into the actual game, and so I'll be able to finish this game. It's going to take still a while. I have no idea. As soon as I incorporate this feature, I'm going to be near done. But stage 5 is still in the works, and I still have to make sure the game works 100% before I implement this feature, because once I do, I'm getting rid of the other feature. But I'll have to leave it in there as a backdoor in case I ever need to get in and make changes. So that's all I really have to say for right now. I hope you find this interesting. I've done a couple of videos on this a few years ago, but I couldn't remember how. It's not really that hard. And the other thing is I had to incorporate a different feature with, they give you examples in the book, but you have to, it's not the only way to do it. So this is another way to use the taping feature. And I'm going to cut out of here now. And before I do, I'm going to save this program so I can print it out. and test it some more. And I'm going to list it out. So I'm just going to call it save game version 1. This time I have to cassette save it. Just gonna put save just version 1, something like that, and list it virtually, and then I write it to a text file, it prints to a text file, and that's it. So I will see you guys on the next video, and as always, I like to hear what people think. So feel free to post a comment if you want to add to this discussion. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good night. Goodbye.